Now that my blocking is completed, it's time to put my boards across here, and that's what creates the eave on the sides. So I have several long 2x4s, they're about 10 feet and change. And then I have some that are in the neighborhood of 6 feet, and that's fortunate because what I'm gonna do is kind of stagger them. So my structure is 12 feet across, and I am accounting for a 1-foot eave on either side. So on this bottom one, I came across to this rafter, and that allowed me to lay that shorter one across 3 boards, which is a lot more sturdy or stable than just going across the very end there. I could have done that and maximized more of this longer board length, but it wouldn't have been as structural. So that's why I did that. Now, in order to make sure I'm getting an accurate measurement, I measured from the edge of that board out to here, and I put a mark. And I did that all along the other boards so that when I put the tape measure on there, I know that I'm measuring accurately and not at an angle, which would throw things way off. So the measurement I came up with is 4 foot 7 3/8, but because I am creating a 1-foot eave or a 12-inch eave, that's actually going to turn into 5 foot 7 3/8. I forgot about something, and luckily I remembered before I got too far down the wrong path. So again, I'm using reclaimed lumber, which has wiggles and warps in it. And I cannot guarantee that this measurement down here, as far as my 1-foot eave, is going to match that measurement up there with a 1-foot eave. So my check is to measure all the way across and make sure that no matter what, these boards are all going to wind up the same length and flush on both ends. So the way I'm making sure that that happens is by just tacking that 2x4 along the edge there as kind of like a straight edge, so that I can line up my boards over there and measure across. And then whatever this measurement winds up being, I can subtract from my total distance across, which happens to be 13 feet 9 inches. And that is going to be the length of the board that goes on the other side. Well, as often happens, after sleeping on it, I've decided to reduce the space in between these 2x4s that are laid flat across there. I think those are called Purlins. Don't quote me on that. The reason for the change is that this is the roofing material that I have. It's left over from when we did our house. There's the house. Looks quite pretty, if you ask me. And I want to make sure that it's supported because, of course, there's sheeting up on the roof of the house, but I'm not going to sheet the roof of the woodshed. So I'm going to reduce these to 18-inch spaces on center, which means it's going to be 14.5 inches from inside to inside. Oh yeah, I'm way happier with this spacing, so I'll continue that all the way up, except that I don't want it to be funky right at the top. So I'm actually going to start now at the top and work my way down, and then kind of meet in the middle and see where I'm at. All right, all done now. And if I'm being honest, I'm a few steps ahead of this, but that's okay. We'll catch up. My spacing actually worked out pretty darn well. Each board is there's approximately 14 inches in between each edge, which translates to about 18 inches on center for 2x4s.